Welcome to the Gentleman's Talk, where the podcast talks about a man's battle with mental health, his personal experiences, and his journey to be a better soul. Hosted by James Dean Littlejohn.
Hi everyone, and welcome to the Gentleman's Talk. Sorry, well, I just adjust my microphone here as I jump on live. Sorry about the late start. I was meant to be scheduled for just need to get a towel. I'm so sorry. I'm meant to be scheduled for 3 o'clock, but I'm a little bit overdue just because I was out the front just trimming the bush, as they say, trimming the bush, and I witnessed two girls absolutely bullying and terrifying this little 8-year-old. They're about 13, 14. I think, about 12, I think, actually. And, just absolutely bullying her. And she was trying to swing a stick at them to get them away. And they were like, yeah, bring it on, see what you get. And anyway, I was really badly bullied as a child. So, as I've said in previous podcasts. So, for me, if I see it, witness it, I am going to jump on it. And that's what I did. So, and then, unfortunately, when I was addressing it with the girls and saying, politely, I wasn't beating them up or anything like that. I didn't go around and kick them in the face, which is normally my go-to, he says. Hold on, I'm going to take a sip of drink because I am sweating. I went round, I was just having a chat and just said, girls, what I witnessed there was bullying. And I thought we'd try and educate them politely, just to sort of say when you present yourself with 2-on-1, stood in front of a girl asking her to bring it on, as you said, you're presenting yourself as a bit of a bully. And they didn't see that. They were like, no. And as I was addressing it, I'm just taking my socks off. I'm so hot at the moment. I've been running around. As I was taking my socks off, as I was chatting to the girls and just letting them know, politely educating them. I think it's one of those things. We try to challenge people now, challenge bullying and all the other good stuff. The sun's shining, so I'm just going to swing my thing over because I need some of this breeze in here. So I can get a little bit of open air. You might feel a bit of the breeze in my cabin today. But yeah, as you address it, as you talk about it, it's interesting, really, because I was trying to just highlight it. I was just sort of kind of, girls, as you present yourself like that, it looks really intimidating. And it's not really the type of thing we're trying to promote nowadays, We're trying to nip this in the bud because you don't realise the ramifications of bullying and how much it really does affect your adulthood. Mine wasn't addressed ever, not like it gets addressed now. And I was looking actually, and the stats, for boys, I think something like 75% now of all suicides in 2021 are males, and something like 65 or 70% of suicides of 10-year-olds around the 10-year-old up to 10 or 10 and above are boys. So, and it's probably normally because boys are a little bit more harsh with each other, aren't they? They tend to be. I've not really sort of an advocate of boys. I've had 3 girls, so I'm almost of the protective nature of that. Well, not almost. I am absolutely protective over them. I've already openly said I'd happily go to prison if anyone does anything really detrimental to my daughters. So anyway, I was addressing it, and my daughter hangs around with one of these 2 girls, and I've encountered a couple of instances where I've bit my tongue with them a little bit, and I've kind of gone, okay, I accept. They kind of didn't bully my daughter, but they kind of ostracized her, which is a form of bullying. But the negative thing was they actually ostracized her against one of my daughter's best friends, and they were like, no, we're going to hang around with her, and we don't want you there. They were that type of mentality, and it was almost like this. What I witnessed here a minute ago was, this little girl wanted to play with them. There was 7 of them there. There was no reason why she couldn't be, but these 2 girls decided to choose. They decided to choose the intimidation factor over and sort of like, but the language they used on this girl, she was about 4 or 5 years younger than them, and the language they were using, you're embarrassing yourself, go away, we don't like you, swing the stick, and they were sort of, edging towards her as 2 of them. It was 1 and then it became 2, and they were sisters, and and I sort of watched it because I thought, well, I'll just sort of intervene if it really does get a bit serious, obviously. And they just kept pushing towards to the point where the girl was like trying to swing the stick to get them away, and they were like, go on, swing the stick, see what you get, and we'll cue in. And I went, wow, okay, stop now. So I intervened anyway, and as I was educating them, and I pop round the corner to get hold of her and just explain to them that that sort of type of behaviour is bullying, and it shouldn't be condoned on any form. It's not very fair on the reciprocant to receive a bullying tactic like that. If she didn't want to play, or you didn't want her to play, and you had a valid reason, then utilise the valid reasons why you don't want her. If she's too young or she's too annoying or whatever, just explain to her, sorry, we don't want to play with you, and do it in such a not a polite way. We're not trying to. Well, it is a polite way, but we're not trying to. Not trying to mollycoddle everybody. We're just trying to educate people on the way to articulate yourself in front of people, and that was quite an intimidating demeanour. And I think that is what, if you don't nip that sort of behaviour in the bud, it tends to procrastinate and tends to develop, doesn't it? They tend to think on it and think that it's an okay behaviour, and I don't think procrastination was the word I was looking for there actually, but chucking in the big words make myself look like a tool. Anyway, I don't think it's the right behaviour. So that's the sort of type of behaviour we want to challenge, isn't it? We want to challenge that behaviour in life. I think that I've certainly come across people that have been like that in their youth, and you can see the way they are now as an adult, because they've never been challenged, and it grows and it gets worse. Before you know it, they're on a rocky road themselves. Excuse me, I'll have to sip of my drink, but. It's not just that; it's the repercussions of that on the reciprocant. And like I said, I was bullied horrendously as a young child, and it was never challenged, and no one ever sort of supported me. No one ever jumped in and intervened. And I didn't see anything negative from this girl. She just wanted to play with them. Maybe if she was a bit rambunctious, not really fitting in with the crowd, that's fine. But is it a collective, or is it one person just trying to lead the crew? And I think that that I don't mind someone being a leader and establishing their own group, but what I don't agree with, don't condone, is that type of behaviour. There's ways to articulate yourself and make that girl not feel like she's a problem, but just explain to her, sorry, but you're not in our little friendship group. I'm like that now, so I don't see any problem with that at all. Not everybody is for everybody. There's certainly people that are in other people's friendship groups that I've been along, and say I've been friend with somebody and I've gone along, and this is probably where as I get older and older, I tend to be a little bit more picky about the situations I get myself into, because I've been along with people, and I've gone along and I've gone, hi, you're my friend, but there's some other people involved, which is fine. And then I've come along and I've gone, actually, you makes a bit of a dick, or he might not be, but he's just not my cup of tea. Or, for instance, that person's been around that person for a long time, like me, for instance. You might take me along to a party, and I might be your friend, and then in actual fact you might go, okay, he's a bit of a dick, I don't like him, and I'll accept that. That's fine. Let me know. I'll never come along again. But I think as a child, it's important to challenge those behaviours. And as I was talking anyway, so I digressed massively again. I digress seems to be my word. Everyone loves that shit. I love it. But as I tend to, as I was talking to her daughter, the mother and father come across quite assertive, which is acceptable. And I said, look, don't worry about it in the end, because she came across, what's going on here, my daughter? And I said, whoa, he said, all right, calm down, and I explained the situation. And her daughter turned around and said that this little girl, had used the N-word, and I didn't hear it. And I said, well, I didn't hear that. And she went, no, it was earlier. Ironically, it was one of those situations where, someone has supposedly used the N-word towards her, and nobody was about to listen. And I'm not downplaying her by any stretch of the imagination, but the age of this girl, I tend to disagree. She was she was 7 or 8. She was a polite little girl. She was all in pink. So stereotypically, am I judging her character on how she looks? Of course I am, but her demeanour certainly didn't come across like that. She was almost scared when they both stood there. So I think that if she'd have said the word before, knowing that she didn't know I was there, I think she would have said it again in that situation. So, but, again, I'm not downplaying the fact that she did say that, but I'm just reacting on the basis of what I'd seen at the time. So I was talking to her mum, and her mum was like, I said, look, just explain the situation. I explained I was bullied as a child. It's not a thing I will accept or condone in my area. If I see it, I'll challenge it. And her father straight away was like, no, absolutely, they are in. And I went, I don't mind what I'm not here to judge. I'm not here to tell you how to be a parent. I'm just here to inform you on what I'd seen. And it's not a very nice situation. Bearing in mind, like I said, these girls played with my daughter, so I know that they're not normally coming across as negative people, but they are strong characters, which is nice to see. But we have to nurture strong characters the right way, don't we? It's like me, you have to nurture me, because I'm quite a strong character. I'm quite headstrong as well. So when I see something, I want to go for something, I'll do it. So, you've got to kind of really, really challenge me to bring me down. So that's fine. And, ultimately that's what I did. And, I got really supportive comments back from the parents. And I said, look, if you see my daughter doing exactly the same, please intervene. This is what it's about. We don't have eyes and ears everywhere as a parent. But at the same time, we need to challenge this and support each other's parents. They dealt with it. And I said, look, there was no hard feelings. She said, oh, sorry, I've come across as, aggressive. And I was like, no, you saw me. I'm big. I'm tattooed. I don't look like I'm the type of guy that's going to be having a polite conversation. But in actual fact, again, we judge our book by a cover, don't we? And that's kind of the reason why I have a big beard and tattoos, because people just assume this, and I'm actually just a big fluffy teddy bear. But yeah, so I went round, we had a nice conversation, and I said, look, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to, come across as aggressive. I certainly didn't come across as aggressive to your daughters. I was politely just educating them on the values and the standards that we should accept as a human. And I certainly don't believe in the way that they presented themselves was values and standards in any way. And not very good demeanour. So, we challenged that to try and, just highlight the failings, because I don't think we do that enough with children, do we? Some parents just kind of let their kids do what they want, and I think that that's probably an element of where the society has gone wrong in lately. For me, anyway, that's certainly how I see it. But yeah, anyway. Big digression, but I just wanted to explain something that just happened to me and try and put it in context, really, just to say, like I said, I've been bullied, so I know what it's like. I know the ramifications that you feel, and I know the years of, if it's not dealt with, I know what happens for years to come, so we need to sort of challenge these bad behaviours, don't we? And ultimately, I would do that with anybody. It doesn't matter if you're my friend, family, work colleague, whatever. I will challenge it, and I have done that. So I don't have that fear factor, so I'll challenge anybody. It doesn't really bother me, providing, I'm not saying I'm squeaky clean. I would never bully anybody, put it that way. I would never be sort of derogatory to anybody in that sort of sense. So I'm not a perfect angel, but at the same time, I do fully condone and support challenging behaviour. God, I need to start losing some weight. I'm really. Anyway, that brings me on to this week. So here we are, reflection. I'm sat in my cabin. I'm relaxed, and I'm just kind of just reflecting. Really, it's been a bit of an odd week for me, if I was going to be honest. Not the best, but again, I'm trying to. It's amazing, really, how important I think having a hobby that you enjoy, that you can do regular, really is. Especially when you've whittled down to any real sort of friends that you kind of want to associate with. And I've kind of gone through the last few weeks, and I was chatting to my wife about this. I've kind of gone through the last few weeks of just. Not sleeping very well. I had my best night's sleep last night in a long time. And that was because I was drawn down for the first time in a long time to taking medication. So I've avoided it. I've spoke about the addiction side of things, but my back has been absolutely crippled. And this is as a result of these car crashes. I had my CT scan and I had my X-ray on Thursday. So Wednesday? No, Thursday. So, see what happens from that. I'm hoping it's something to move forward with, not just this physio bollocks, because I just don't think physio works. I've spent hundreds and hundreds, probably thousands of pounds on physio, and every time I go to a different sports masseuse or chiropractor, I always go for the man as well, because I want them to. I know that I'm not right. I know that I'm in pain, so I want them to. Really sort of like work the muscles and get me right again. And every single one I've been to, and I mean everyone, you get sort of like 6 months in and they say, yeah, you're improving. And then you're lying to me because of the way you said it. And they've gone, Jesus Christ, your back's like a piece of wood. And I go, okay, well, that's what I'm fucking here for. So I've spent thousands of pounds on trying to sort of like look after myself, and it's just not working. And I'm thinking, I can't go on living like this. And, Friday night for me sorry, was it Friday night? No, Saturday night. So last night, but Friday night started. I was playing games with my brother and friend. As I try to do on a Friday. It's my kind of used to be. I'm going to be honest. Used to be my release. Used to be what I used to do. I used to get really competitive. But my brutal honesty is I don't enjoy game anymore. I really don't. I mean, there's elements of games that I enjoy and they'll tell you that when I get a game I enjoy, I'll get stuck into it. But that's rare as rocking or shit for me. That's kind of like once, twice a year that I'll find a game that's really interesting for me that I'll get stuck into. And I've had 2 games this year. I've actually been fortunate. I've actually had 3 games actually that I've been into. So this is a rare year for me. But that's because I've tried to engage. But Friday was really hard work for me. I enjoyed the chat and stuff like that to a degree. And my brother was he was on as well, and absolutely hilarious. But he finds a lot more pleasure in Xbox than I do. So I look at the Xbox as a way of the release through being competitive, because I like being good at gaming. I like being competitive. For me, that's the element of the enjoyment I get out of it. Whereas my brother, I think, uses the gaming side of things for the relaxation, the freedom, I can put my headphones on, I can have a beer, and I can have a chat with the lads. It's very social for him, which is great, absolutely fantastic. For me, that doesn't work as a social for me. It used to work as a social. I'd be sat there till 2 in the morning just having an absolute laugh. But now I get to about 11 o'clock now and I'm like chilling it off now, and sometimes it'll get to 12 and you're like, okay, right guys, it's getting late, I'm going to go off now, and it's not as fun for me. So I struggled on Friday. I had a few drinks and I was sat in the garden because it was a warm evening. That's going to go bang. There it goes. I was sat in the garden as it was a warm evening till 2 o'clock in the morning, just drinking gin and just thinking really. And I think I got a bit too heavy in my mind because I haven't really had a release talking to anyone. I haven't been to a social occasion for like three weeks now, I think. So, and I don't anticipate I'm going to see another social occasion I'm going to enjoy for another 3 to 4 weeks, because I'm quite busy with work at the moment, and a couple of social events coming up as well that you have to attend. I think I've got a brother-in-law's barbecue next Saturday, and the Saturday after that I've got to go around and help my wife's friend. I've been kind of roped in. She's friends with this woman, and they're trying to make a sort of mandate, if you like, which is a bit awkward for me. I'm not really into that. But I'm also going around to help fix a few things. I seem to be the DIY go-to. Anyway, so I've got that the Saturday after that, and then the Saturday after that I've got a work event. So it's tough. It's going to be tough, because I've realised now that although they are social to a degree, I'm going to struggle. And next week, for instance, I'm away with work all week, and I'm staying in a hotel on my own because I've got a lot of work to do in London, so it's easier for me to go and stay there than it is to commute. So busy weeks ahead. But I was sat there at about 2 o'clock, and I was just contemplating a lot, really. I was thinking, I can't keep fucking doing this. I don't know what to do. I don't know what is fun anymore. And that's truthful. That sounds fucking crazy. What do you mean what's fun? I listened to your last podcast, James. You're on a massive high. And I said that's why I grab these highs while I can, because I do go into a low. And it comes to the weekend, and I tend to get like that. And I'm kind of in that principle now. And the ice on the cake for me really was going to bed at 10 o'clock on a Saturday night because I was fucking bored. I'd had a gin, and I was like, I'm not even drinking this for fucking pleasure anymore, because there's no one to enjoy it with. I'm just drinking and watching shitty reels, or clips on my phone in the back garden on my own. So I went in and went, I'm going to bed, which spurred me on to wake up early Sunday morning. So I'd had a good, I think, 8 hours sleep, which was unusual for me. But like I said, I'd gone on to something I didn't want to ever do, and that was taking cocodamol and codeine. And gabapentin, because I just needed some sleep. My eyes yesterday were stinging because I was so tired. I couldn't function. I had to have 3 cold showers to try and relieve the pain in my eyes because I was so tired. I've just been so tired. I haven't slept properly for 3 weeks because of my back. And and I didn't really want to use opioids. And yeah, great. I had an amazing sleep, and I woke up early. I felt really, really groggy though, because they're not nice to do. Opioids are horrible. And I thought I'd go for a long walk. So I went for a long walk with my dog, and woke my wife up early and said, "You're coming with me. I need some company." So we went for a nice long walk along Danebury Hill. And yeah, it was absolutely beautiful. And I needed that just to try and get amongst nature and to feel a bit better. And I did for a little bit. I felt a bit better. Came back, watched the Grand Prix, which was actually a fantastic race, F1. And yeah, and I was kind of, that had finished, and I'm at where I'm at now, and still reflecting heavily on what to do. What to do, and I don't know. Is the honest answer. I don't know how I can find pleasure in life anymore. I've got no get up and go in that terms. I can do my job with my fucking eyes closed, and I can drive work with my eyes closed, and I can drive education. Even one of my friends said to me last week, "Fucking hell, James, are you never not on a course?" And I'm not at the moment, and I haven't been for 2 years, because I am just utilising it to fill a gap. But at the same time, I'm also getting a lot out of it in the terms of it's giving me the knowledge that I need to progress and get more money to do more things in life. So again, I'm fixating on work, which is something I said I'd never do. Although I don't sit there for hours now like I used to, and I do shut down, because I'm conscious that that is the only way you're going to manage well-being, is by making sure that you give yourself that fucking time. But what I'm doing when I give myself that time is nothing. I'm not giving myself anything. I don't have a stable hobby, and I don't know what to do. I can't break into something that's going to be big, because affordability wise it's expensive. And I read a stat today that diesel and petrol cars have increased for sale for up to 19%, because people are just getting rid of their cars now, because it is almost over £100 to fill a standard car. I know mine is. Mine's about £100, just over £100, I think it was, when I filled it up for the month. I filled it right up. It was about £103, and I was like, fucking hell. That's just ridiculous. I can't afford this, and luckily because I work from home, I've really reduced that massively. I was spending £100 a week to travel a small distance, sort of kind of thing. And I've whittled it right down to about, sort of next to nothing really. I think I put in, £25 every 2 weeks. I think I do. No, I normally put in £30. £30 every 2 weeks, so £60 a month, and that's just a commutable thing. Or if I've got to, I try not to. But I just genuinely can't afford it, And even when I use my car for work trips, you get 30p on the mile, which is fucking ludicrous. That's I think it was written in the deciding number was 2016, when work decided that would be the figure, and it's 2016 to 2022. We're at considerably higher price in fuel, so it's not functional to use my car. So I don't now. I go by train everywhere. I'm even contemplating selling my own car just to go fucking get rid. I don't want the insurance and the fuel and everything else. The only downside to that is it would probably reduce my social life even more if I didn't have a car with the freedom. But it's interesting. I'm at this point at the moment where I don't know what the fuck I want to do. But I said to my missus last night, I was chatting away, and she was like, "You're okay, you look really sad." And I was like, because I don't know what to do. I don't know what I find fun anymore. And I haven't found what I find fun in a long time. Bang. Oh, I thought my door was going to go bang. So I was like trying to preempt the bang, not just randomly saying bang, which does sound a bit fucking crazy, doesn't it? Hold on, I'm going to take a little sip, please. It's a warm day. Need to stay hydrated. So yeah, interesting, really interesting actually, that I'm in this massive limbo period, and it's to the point where I said I don't want to waste my weekends. I don't want to waste them anymore. I want to do something that I find fun, and I looked at fishing. Do I find fishing fun now? No, I'll be honest with you. No, I don't. I'm not really. I don't find fishing. Do I find wakeboarding fun? Yes, but I can't do it at the moment because of my back, and I don't want to regress this anymore because I'm really struggling with the pain. I mean, I'm at the point where my testicles, I'm going to be open and honest, feel like they're being gripped 24/7 through the sciatic pain. It's crippling me. And I'm at the point now where I was like, even my missus said, you need to start sleeping, when you can, to try and keep topping yourself up. And I'm like, no, I don't want to get into that habit. I want structured sleep. I only spoke about sleep the other day, didn't I, on a podcast, how important it is. But yeah, I'm in a bit of a shit place, and I don't mean, and it's dragging me down mentally. I get I had the fun last week with work, and that soon dwindled down, and I don't know. I'm just in a not a fantastic place at the moment. But hold on, I'm just going to try and sort something out while I still talk to you. So I'm still here. Please don't go anywhere. Hold on. Might make a little bit of a noise here. I'm just going to put it in this cradle so that I can talk to you a bit easier. Is it going to go? Wait. There we go. Look at that, eh? See, that was a bang I was waiting for earlier. We all waiting for a bang. Sorry. Bit rambunctious myself, ain't I? So yeah, it's interesting. I'm in this bit of a shit place, and I know that there'll be friends going, "Oh, try this and try that," and I'm like, but I don't find interest in those. I know for a fact if I'd enjoyed fishing, I've got the gear, I'd have gone and done it. If I'd enjoyed wakeboarding, I've got about £1,000 worth of fucking gear sat there, and it has been sat there for almost 2 years, not used at all, to the point where I'm like, I'm just going to sell it. I won't nowhere near make the mark on it, but at the same time, it's a bit of extra money. But then I'm like, even last night I was sat there going, do I take up golf? I'm like, I don't think I want to, because again, my back and shoulders, I'm not very flexible, so I can hit the fucking ball really hard, but because I'm not very flexible, it's not enjoyable. It's not enjoyable. So I'm just in a little bit of a shitty place at the moment, and that became quite scary for me really on Saturday night, last night, because I actually sat there for once. I went to bed early, like I said, but I didn't go to sleep early. But I went to bed early, and I was sat there. It was about midnight, and I was in that horrible phase where you contemplate life, and yeah, I felt horrendously sad. It scares me a little bit now and brings a bit of emotion to me, because I was in a horrible place last night, and I wasn't drinking. I hadn't drunk or anything like that. I took the painkillers, and I think that brought me down massively, because I said I'd never do that, and I didn't want to do that. But I just can't live in this fucking pain at the moment, and I can't live with the pain. The lack of sleep then brings exhaustion, which then brings me sitting there contemplating things, which is where I got to Saturday night. I got to the point where I was like, this is fucking pointless, mate. I don't want to do this anymore. I don't want to just sit here wondering what's going to make me fucking happy. I don't want to just sit here wondering, am I going to do something this weekend, or are we going to do something? And I'm a bit of an adrenaline junkie, so there's a lot of mixed feelings at the moment, and I've been feeling it on and off for the last few weeks. It's got scarily close to somewhere where I don't want to go, and that's the difficult aspect, and why reflection is kind of hard for me at the moment, because I don't want to reflect and dwell too much. I'm trying to keep my mind occupied, to the point where just a minute ago I was led under a bush. We all know there's an innuendo there somewhere, but I was led under a bush cutting away the dead wood, and I was fucking bored, just because I was like cutting dead wood, and I was sat there, and I was, cutting away the dead wood, thinking I'll bring this tree to life, and I was trying to put a spin, a metaphor on that, saying it's interesting how we don't do that in work or life. We don't cut away the dead wood, do we? Because you can't flourish. And I looked at my tree and I was like, you're trying to flourish, but you're feeding the dead wood, so fucking get rid of the dead wood. And I was trying to metaphor it, and that's where my mind is at the moment. It's very negative. It's like, get rid of the dead wood. I just don't know. I be honest, I don't know. I don't know what to do. It's horrible when you're like this. And I go through this regular, I think, at the moment. A bit too regular for me. We're in summer, the sun's out, and I've done nothing. And I kind of feel very depressed about that. And that's a strong word to say, depressed, and I don't use it lightly. I hate it when people say, I'm depressed, and you think, well, maybe you're just a little bit sad. And that might be my case. I'm a little bit sad at the moment. I don't know. It's, just trying to find my place, really. I know where my place is in work. fuck, I can drive that till the cows come home. I can go in and drive and drive and drive and push and push and push and make a fucking difference every day in work. But that's not what I want. That's not what I want. I want my life to be fun. I don't want to be sat on my sofa watching shit. I don't experience life like that. It's boring. It's fucking horrendous, actually, just being sat there being lazy in the sun. I don't want to do that. I want to fucking experience life. I want to get out there and have fun, try new things. And I'm in a limbo, really. It's in a horrible place. I'm in a horrible place. And normally this is so unusual for me, because summer for me is normally the best time. I've got the vitamin D being pumped into my system. Pumped. That's a good word. Pumped into my system. So normally that's the fun aspect for me. And like I say, this morning I went out for a walk. It was okay. I needed it. Did I get a lot out of it? Not really. It was nice to be around, but I took photos to give the perception I was having a fucking laugh and I was all right. I'm having a good time, and everyone's, that's beautiful. Is it really? Okay, mate. Yeah. That's where I'm at. That's where I'm at. Mental health is a fucker. It really is a fucker. I struggle with it really badly struggle with it. I struggle with constantly driving all the time and not knowing. I'm not looking forward to next week, because I'm going to be out of my comfort zone a little bit for the first time in a long time. I haven't been away from home for no more than a night in a long time. 3 nights actually, which run out, and I struggled last time. But I'm hoping, because it's London, there's a bit going on. Maybe I'll get out and about and just go for a walk and people watch. That's certainly something I'll probably look forward to doing. But yeah, I can't really G you up today, which is a bit unusual for me. But I want to come on and just sort of say that, it's important, I think, it's important to address these things. And that's where that stat came in, that 75% of, 75% of suicides are men. Do you know what I mean? And that's a fucking huge statistic, isn't it? And they're the ones that are recorded. They're the ones we know about, and like you said, the suicide rate going up in young boys, to 60%, 70% is male boys. It's a very difficult world, isn't it, at the moment? But it's not difficult. It's not difficult. It's easy. It's easy to do these things, but it's finding out what you enjoy. What can you afford to enjoy? And I admire people with that ability to just sit there and be happy in general. My wife's a fucker for it. She can just sit there and just be happy. She's content. As long as the girls are happy, she's happy. She does worry about me quite a lot. She's been really sort of kind of romantic today, which is nice. Just kind of coming along, supporting me. And I think, she sees it. It's not hard to read my body language and the way that I shut myself away. And I've shut myself away again all this weekend. I do that I told you, as a mechanism, a coping mechanism, is to be private, and I've done that this weekend, and it's not nice to do. I don't try to do it. I try to avoid it. I've tried to remain engaged with my friends, but acknowledging the fact I'm just not in the mood. I didn't catch the bang. Shit. But it's an odd one, isn't it? But it's important to address these factors. And one of the reasons I do come onto these podcasts is to highlight the fact that we do go through these things. And I can go from where I was Tuesday, where I was fucking excited, adrenaline was rushing, I was having loads of banter with my friend, and then I can get to the point where I'm like this, and I spend another weekend doing nothing, really. And everyone's like, "Go out and do something." Go out and do what? I don't know what I want to do. If I could find something that I could go out and enjoy that would be fun, and I find it fun, with the element of adrenaline. Mum just sent me a photo, some photo or something on WhatsApp. We'll see what that is in a minute. If I could go out and do that, absolutely. She's put, "Love this, so true." So it's a t-shirt picture. So I'll be interested in what she's put on the t-shirt. It'll be either something to do with me or something to do with her. I don't know. But she's normally quite comical. Mum started talking to me again recently. But then I haven't spoken to my parents for a good few weeks now, which is unusual. I thought I was going to hear another bang then. On my door. But yeah, it's horrible, isn't it? And even I don't feel like I'm giving you the worth in this fucking podcast. I feel like, oh my God, he's fucking boring, isn't he? Do you know what I mean? And I'm not trying to be boring. I'm not trying to be boring at all. In fact, I've just sat up to try and change my perception. But at the same time, it's acknowledging these things. It's coming onto this platform, and it's really important for me to share the highs, but also share the lows, because I don't want people to have this depiction that, you know, it's all right. You know, like I said to my friend said to me last week, it's crazy when you meet me and you get to know me and you go out with me, how fun, helpful and social I can be. And then the tide can turn. But like I said, you know, mental health doesn't care who you are, doesn't care what time of the day it is, doesn't care what day of the week it is, or month, or year. It will fuck you over. It will just consume you, and it does, and it manifests. It starts off with a little bit of, almost like a little glow in the back of the head, and you sit there, and then all of a sudden, before you know it, you're consumed by it. The fog has dropped over your face. The light is in your brain telling you you're a fucking dickhead, you know, you're a piece of shit, you know, you've got nothing. And then there I was sat there midnight on Saturday night, led in bed, with my dog snoring at the foot of the bed, and contemplating why I was here. What am I here to do? If I'm only here for work, I don't want to do that. I don't want to just be here to work. I don't even want to fucking work, you know? I mean, don't get me wrong, I enjoy work to an aspect, you know. If it's paid well, I'll enjoy it, you know. But I don't want it anymore. I don't know what I want, but I want something to look forward to. I want something to go out. I can't be one of these people that are constantly fucking lazy, sat around doing nothing. I cannot do it. I can't fucking do it. It's horrible. I need something that I can get up on a Sunday or a Saturday and go, I'm fucking going out. I'm going to do this. But I don't know what to do. So I need to really dig deep and think. And it's not about doing something I've already done, because, like I said, wakeboarding for me is fun. I've got the skill. I can, you know, it's like riding a bike. You never forget it. Trust me, once you've got that skill, I could jump on the wakeboard at any point in my life and go and do it. You don't forget the skill. It is like riding a bike. It's all then just built on confidence. If you want to enjoy the process of wakeboarding, you know, you just need confidence to hit the kickers and all the other good shit. You know, I have done. But yeah, it's hey Linger, mate, how's it going, buddy? It's an interesting one. I'm kind of in that limbo period at the moment where it's an awful state of mind, and knowing what makes me fun. Hey, bruv, how's it going, mate? It's my man Linger's just joined on from the Aussie Dan Under, mate. Dan Under. I had my men's. Oh, did you, mate? Do you want to jump on and have a talk, mate? If you want, more than welcome, buddy. I was just. It probably perked me up, mate. If I'm honest, I'm in that shitty place at the moment. Are you in bed? Oh, you relax then, buddy. You relax, mate. You relax. Good. Oh, of course it is. It's your time of the day, innit? I keep forgetting you're miles behind. I'll wait the kids. No, of course, mate. No, good. Glad to hear there's sport though, mate. How did the men's table go? Is it 1:45? Shit me, bud. Wow. Don't worry though, mate. Yeah, thanks for the support though, mate. You just sit and listen, buddy. You might be able to offer a bit of guidance for me. Maybe, I don't know. I was just sort of saying about, you know, the kind of shit place I'm in at the moment with regards to having something to look forward to. Having, what's this? We were talking about how to be our most authentic selves. Yes, I know. And I think we do, mate. I think we do. To be honest with you, I don't think enough of us are being authentic. We all put on that mask, don't we, to kind of hide our face and choose the different mask for the different occasions. I was only saying this to my wife the other day, actually, that it's interesting that probably nobody has ever really experienced the real me. What environment are you most authentic in? I don't know, really. I'm one of these ones, I kind of have the ability to change depending on my environment, but the one I'm most authentic in is probably with my friends. Not even my wife, really. You know, I kind of like my wife. I'm kind of a different person. I try to play down who I am. Every now and then she sees an element of me. With my friends, I would probably say if I'm out and I'm in a really good mood, a really good place, I would say they see the real me if I'm in that kind of environment, that playful, fun environment. I'm in town, I'm socializing, I'm in a good place. I've had a couple of beers to loosen me up. I'd probably say that's the most authentic me, if I'm honest. It's how can you be more like that person each day? That's a good question, isn't it? I don't know, because I don't think because I'm quite an outgoing person. That was the question we asked. Excellent, mate. It's a good question, a really good question. I think that it's hard though to be the authentic person all the time, because for me, I have to play myself down. I'm listening. Yeah, perfect, mate. Cheers, bud. I think that you have to play down to certain characters, don't you? So it's like when I go to work, I have an element. So I've got this friend at work. I'm in a new team. I'll give you an idea of the differences I am. So I have a boss, not very confident in my boss at all. So I don't show him my authentic self. I almost show him my leadership self, just to show him what I think leadership should be. Because I don't think he is a very good leader, but that's it's not even a personal opinion, actually. It's a broad spectrum of opinion. But at the same time, you have to remember that he is the boss. So I kind of tend to take a sort of step back and do my own things if I'm not getting led well, because you need to look up to your leader as someone you want to aspire to. If you can't aspire to your leader, then he's not a leader. Even when I'm at home with my wife, she sees elements of me, but I'm never really my true self, because she is so chalk and cheese with me. You normally find when you go out, it's even when I go out with my friend, actually. So even if I go out with my best friend, Kieran, for instance, he sees an element of me, but I'm never my full true self with him, because again, he is chalk and cheese with me. So he tends to be a little bit more timid, a little quieter. It tends to be when I click with somebody that's on the same wavelength as me, and that brings me on to that. That's like I was saying a minute ago with a work colleague. I've got two immediate work colleagues, my bosses, and three, and I've got two of them. And one that I really click with is a very, very outgoing London person. So he's very forward. He says it as it is. He's the only thing I think that with him is I find interesting. We've got the same humour, so we can relate to each other. We're a bit of a force to be reckoned with, to be honest. So I enjoy his company, because he tends to support me, and I tend to support him, because we're very outspoken. The only thing is, I think with him is he needs to learn the ability to just calm down a little bit. This is something I've had to do. So I enjoy his company, because because I know he'll succeed further if he just brings himself down a little bit, just plays his tone down a little bit. And then I've got this other friend who's difficult, this other work colleague, not really a friend, but he's the new one, but I don't really trust him, and I think that's where the trust element comes in. So I find if I've got somebody that I trust, somebody that's on the same wavelength as me, you see the true person in me. I'm just a genuine person. I'll do anything I can to help people. I'll do anything I can to support people. But once you scorn me, that's the difficult part. And I find that for me, trust is the place where you'll find me my best. And that's a very hard thing to grasp, isn't it? Trust. It's an interesting one, but at the same time, once you lose that trust, even if it's with somebody, that's a good friend of yours, if you've had an element of trust issues, and I get that a lot, people tend to hide things from me because they think that they tend to hide things because they tend to sort of kind of, fuck, bro, we're on the same page. We are. This is probably the same person, mate. It's probably why we're talking so much. But even if you're my friend, in that sort of sense, if I don't trust you, or even if I've trusted you and you've broken that trust just a little bit, you'll never see that full true self of me again. And I've had that with people. Certainly had people that I've trusted and have hidden things from me because they think that it will save me. And I've had that with very close friends, actually, that have hidden things from me, and then I found out that they knew, or found out they knew something, and I just go, I appreciate why you've done it, because you thought you were going to protect me, but in actual fact you haven't. You've not been open and honest with me. And it's a very, very quick thing to lose, isn't it? It's interesting, trust, isn't it? It's such a quick thing to lose, but it's such a hard thing to gain. That's why I think that for me, once I trust you, once I truly believe that I can tell you anything, once I truly believe that you have my back no matter what, and you will tell me to the whites of my eyes, where even if it makes me cry, even if it makes me angry, if you tell me to the whites of my eyes what has happened around me, or something I've gone through, or something you've seen, if you tell me, I will trust you till the day we die. To the day we die, I will protect you. I will look after you, and I will go to prison for you. To be brutally honest, but you show me that little glimpse, that little weak link, and I look and go, there's going to be a point in our life where you're going to be the weakest link, and I don't want that. I do not want that at all. So I struggle. I struggle very, very, very hard to make friends. And I've even lost trust to an element with my wife, because she's never been open. She's hidden things from me in the past, but I get that sometimes, you know. It's nothing bad, by the way, nothing bad. But at the same time, you have that element of doubt, and you don't want that element of doubt. I mean, my wife's an absolute rock for me. You know, and she's been through a hell of a lot with me, and a hell of a lot for me. So I respect her for that. But for me to trust somebody, truly trust someone, it's a hard thing, really hard thing. And it's a difficult question to ask that. And I think everybody's got their own hidden agenda in life, haven't they? Whereas I tend to be open and honest. If I'm going to go for a promotion, or I'm going to go somewhere, or I'm going to do something, I'll tell you, I'm not adverse to hiding it. It was very interesting how, you know, I say, if you're open and honest with people will tend to respect you more, they'll tend to trust you more, and they'll tend to help you more, you know. And it's a very difficult thing to get, but it's romantic, isn't it? It's almost romantic to get trust, because you can look at somebody and go, there's absolutely everything I can tell you. Oh, who's this? Kay Brownie. Hi, welcome. So, you know, yeah, I that's a difficult one, mate, actually. So in agree, I withdraw also easily if hurt. I have had a recent insight that my vulnerability has to do with this. Yes, definitely. But I have to make good with my own vulnerability. People will be drawn to the darkness. Have to be okay with letting them see it. Exactly that. You know, I couldn't have said it any more. It's interesting. I'm quite a burly guy in a sense that, you know, I'm struggling with my own self at the moment in terms of my own reflection. I'm putting on a bit of weight and stuff like that. So I know that I'm going through this pretty crappy, shitty time at the moment. And I haven't got the get up and go, the motivation to rectify it. And it's not just a diet thing. I need to get out a bit more. But it's interesting. I you know, I'm the same, and it's horrible, and I'm in a shit place, and that's the dark bit for me at the moment. Like I said, last night I was sat there contemplating life again, and I don't like when I do that. Middle-age spread, exactly that, mate. I'm losing a lot of muscle because, you know, I'm not retaining it as much, and the only thing that's hiding my 5 million chins is the big beard I've got. But I don't mind that. That's just giving me that confidence boost. But in actual fact, I think it's a double-edged sword, because if I didn't have a beard and saw my face every day, I'd probably be like, right, sort this shit out, fat boy. But then I should just look down at my gut. And what I have this thing doing is I suck it in quite a lot, you know. So I've got amazing core strength because I'm sucking in the middle-age spread. But yeah, I agree. I withdraw, and I've withdrawn heavily this last 3 weeks, and I'm withdrawing again, and it's fucking horrible. I hate it. It made me very upset last night, sitting there contemplating life, wondering if this is all I'm going to do, is work, earn money, not do anything, and get to the weekends and do fuck all. And I want something to do. I want somewhere to go. I want people to hang around with, and I want people to be able to build on it. I'm not one of these people who just sit on the fucking sofa watching shit. I hate it. I fucking hate it. I really do. So like today, I was out and about, and I'm listening to a bit of music. Going to start walking a decent amount twice a week. That'd be amazing, mate. And do you know what? That's what I do. The annoying thing is, I've got a fucking German Shepherd, mate. I've got a big 43 kilogram German Shepherd, and I walk him. Walking is easy, it is. And you know, for me, I get out and about. I do. I kind of do as much as I can. I get out. I have to take him out. So I take him out for 1.5 miles 3 times a day. My problem is, I get to the evening and I tend to chew a bit of chocolate down. I tend to have a bit of drink because I'm just not happy. I'm absolutely not happy at the moment. I get elements of happiness. I've had a spike of happiness, like I said, last Tuesday, had a spike of happiness in work. But I need a fucking hobby. I want something that's adrenaline based. You know, I want something that's going to give me that spark, give me that element to kind of help me, assist me losing weight, but at the same time do it in a fun way, if you like. And that kind of, like you say, I'm a very vulnerable person, just as you are, Lingo, you know, and being vulnerable, believe it or not, like you say, I'm a big guy. I've got fucking full of tattoos, beard. You know, I used to do massive amounts of weights when I was younger. So for me, I've got quite a strong frame. But it doesn't... No, do you know what? It's really weird. To touch on that, really, I wasn't nurtured very well as a child. And that's no negativity towards my parents at all, but my mum had to raise us. My dad was in the forces, so he was away a lot. He did a lot of stuff himself, tug of war and all the stuff that you get involved in the military. The military's really good for that sort of side of things. But if you looked at my stature now, you would have said rugby player or boxer, heavyweight boxer. That's my stature. Big fucking shoulders. No, I didn't. I just didn't do any sports. I tried a bit of football because I thought that that's what it was, but I fucking hate football. I really do. I cannot stand it. I'm really into motorsports. But at the same time, I'm at that age now in the 40s where, you know, it's really difficult to fucking get on a sports bike and rag it. Do you know what I mean? And I've got one. I've got a limited edition R6 Valentino Rossi rep, and it is a fucking stunning bike. It's ridiculous brake horsepower at the back wheel. You know, I think it does like 65 mile an hour in first gear. You know, and there's like another one. I've got up to about 140 on a racetrack, obviously. But yeah, I just need something to spark me. But it's finding something that is going to do that, you know. And I even contemplated open water swimming just because I love the water. And trying to find somewhere where I can do open water swim, which is becoming big in the UK at the moment. But yeah, I'm in this very vulnerable state at the moment, and I'm not asking for anybody to pick me up and perk me up, because, as I've always said in my podcasts, you need to make the difference. But it was a scary thought last night when I was sat there at midnight going, what's the fucking point? I don't understand the point. I'm sat here, I'm in pain, my fucking head's like pounding. I've lived with a headache for every day for the last 3 weeks because of this problem with my back. And, you know, I don't want to go on to opioids. I was massively depressed because I went on to opioids last night. So for the first time in 2 years, I took opioids. So no, it's not the first time. That's a lie. I took opioids for the first time about 2 months ago when the back problems started, and it made me feel horrendously sick. What was this? I started playing hockey, never played it, but did it just to stretch myself, and that's what I need. Is there someone you trust that you could get started in setting new, pick it for you? Difficult one, like your best mate tells you you're doing this and off you go. My best mate's amazing. You know, I'll caveat that before I get into it. My best mate is amazing, but he is, like I said, we're chalk and cheese, and that's why I think we've remained friends for 28 years, because he is a very relaxed guy. I don't know whether he would... I'm a bit of a sports Billy as well, in the sense that when I try things, I tend to be quite good at them because I tend to push myself. So I think it would be trying to find a sport or do something, but he likes relaxing. He's a very, very relaxed person, likes his computer games, not really interested in the get up and go side of things, but that's what I need. I need somebody to go, this is going to cost this much, let's go along, let's do a fucking taster day, let's have some fun together, let's see how it goes. And then I go, do you know what, this is local to where I live, I can do this is fucking fun, let's go and do this more often. And that's where I'm at trying to find that element, trying to find that spark. Help me lose a bit of weight by doing something as well, because at the moment I'm sat there, and like I said, you know, I took opioids for the first time the second time in 2 years. The first time made me horrendously sick and I'd never do it, and last night I took it and I felt amazing because it's an opioid. It stopped my pain and gave me probably the best night's sleep I've had in 3 weeks, but I woke up groggy, and then I woke up going, I need to take more tablets, because that is what I thought I needed. And I was like, this is the fucking road, mate. Stop this rocky road, you silly twat. And I don't want to go there. Get him to pick it for you. He can Google it and then stay at home. Yeah, I would love that, mate. Maybe if he listens to this, he might spur him on, mate. I know he's got his own little things. He's just recently changed jobs. He's got that side of things. But I'm just this person, mate, that I can't sit and waste my weekends. I can't. At the moment, I feel the last 3 weeks, I've gone from Monday to Monday. You know, as in I've worked Monday to Monday. I don't feel there's been a transition. And bearing in mind, in that last 3 weeks, I've had 1 week off. And I did fuck all. Apart from I didn't do fuck all. I did my garden, but you know, my garden's at a point now where it's perfect. It just needs maintaining. So I'm bored. And again, because I've done that really quickly, which my mate says to me, you know, you do a 3-month project in 3 hours, which I tend to do. But I'm bored. I'm absolutely threaders with it. And I'm at the point where I'm fucking, yeah, opiates no good. You can use opiates, break glass in emergency. I know, yeah. And do you know what? I hated it. I felt horrible, actually. I felt absolutely horrendous taking opiates. Because I know that 3-year addiction of never did anything for me apart from ruin my kidneys. But I'm now seeing myself putting on weight. I can already feel my belly stretching, you know. I've got the muscle mass on top, but I just need something fun to go and do, mate. I'll be honest with you. And I don't want to get into this depressing state. Go for it. Have you tried? Let's see. Have you tried comma? Oh, ... continue. Love it. So no, I'm only joking, mate. It's okay. I'm not pressurizing you. I'm just having a bit of banter, mate. I'm smiling. I'm just smiling along, mate, because it's nice to talk to people. It's nice to talk to different people and hear different perspectives. See what? Have you tried? It's interesting, isn't it? Anyone else listening as well to see what you know? What do you do for a bit of hobby? You know, if anyone else is listening, it's interesting. I've got a friend actually called Billy. I've mentioned it before, and he's a big sportsman. It's such a shame actually that he's moved to another job in another country, because you know he's like that. He's very much like, let's go and do this. He was very much into shooting and all those sort of side of things, which are very adrenaline based stuff. Volunteering in firefighting, I haven't. No. The thing in the UK is. To be a volunteer firefighter takes about 8 months to a year to get in. So it'd be something that I would potentially go on to do now. And they're actually making major cutbacks because there's a new thing that's came out, a new legislation that came out that all houses now have to be fixed, all new houses, new build houses have to be fixed with sprinkler systems to reduce the need for firefighters. You would have tangible skills, mate. I'm exactly that, mate. To be fair, without sounding big-headed, which I know this is going to sound big-headed, but I'm good at most things I do because I really, really try. And like I said, I'm quite a big guy, so quite a strong guy. Probably do it in 4 months. Yeah, there's something I can look into, mate, and I appreciate that actually. Something I never even thought about actually. Never even crossed my mind about doing something like that. But it is very much the weekends where I'm like, I could be doing this. I could go and do something and fast track it. Yeah, I mean, the good thing is I am security cleared through the people I work for. I've got a 10-year high level security clearance, and I'm fully DBS checked and everything. So I think that it takes that long because they need to ensure that you aren't a criminal, basically. So if I'm saying to them, I've got my DBS, I've got my CRB, which is what we do for our security clearances, and show them my ID, which confirms I've got 10 years, they probably would fast track it, to be fair, because it's the security and the DBS that normally costs the amount of money and normally holds the process up. Might be handy to set a longer goal for yourself. It is, and do you know what? That's the problem, you see, is I done wakeboarding. I did wakeboarding for probably about 3 years. I absolutely fucking loved it. I did absolutely love it because it was on the water. It was fun. It was adrenaline. I learned to backflip off of kickers. It was absolutely crazy. Yeah, I do. And I've got all the gear. I absolutely fucking love wakeboarding. But there's nobody around me that likes wakeboarding. And also, when I go there, I know that a 2-hour wakeboarding session is going to completely cripple me at the moment for about a week on my back. And every time I come back, I'm solid, my neck's hurting, and I've got a blistering migraine. So I know that is now the sport. We are old. We are old. We're fucking old. I hate being old. Christ, when did it happen, mate? Kicked me. I miss being young. I mean, I'm only 40, mate, and I can't, everything aches. I wake up in the morning and I'm like, I've gone to bed. I went to bed fine. And then literally I woke up in the morning and my leg's fallen off. I don't know how it's happened. Why is my leg falling off? You know what I mean? It feels like somebody is literally, I'm in the night and someone goes, he looks like he's comfortable. I'm going to pull out a sledgehammer and twat him on the side of the neck. You wake up with a crick in your neck. You're like, what the fuck? It takes you about a month to get over. Try horse riding. I would, mate, but horse riding's fucking expensive over here, mate. Really expensive. It really is expensive. That's what I mean. It's trying to find something that I can enjoy that doesn't cripple the budget, if you like. And that's where I was looking at golf. I was looking at golf, but again, I'm not in the golf network. I never have been. And would I enjoy it? Probably not, because it's walking long miles. It would help my fitness massively, but I'm quite stiff upper body. That's what I'm saying. I'm quite rigid. But yeah, it's something I don't know, mate. I need to sit there and actually, it's boring as fuck, but it's fun. I know I went on holiday once, actually, and I jumped on, never done it before. Felt like somebody was battering my arsehole. Felt like I'd done a 6-month stint in prison as a pretty boy. I'm not going to lie, that's what it felt like. It was literally like, I think I've lost my virginity. You know what I mean? It was kind of like that. But it was fun. It was fun. It was a good laugh to going through. And I've done a little bit of riding through the woods. It is a really good sport. It tends to be a bit boring, but it is fun, isn't it? But there's so many restrictions on horse riding at the moment with regards to going on the road, and because there's so many restrictions and having to have insurance and all the other stuff, the prices absolutely rocketed through for going on a horse just to go for an hour. I mean, one of my is it equestrianism? There's a word I can't remember. I can't remember what it is. That's one word I'm not going to, but there is. It's kind of like, what to say? I've got a friend, so my daughter's friend does it. She does horse riding, and she said it's fucking expensive. And I've gone, oh. And it seems to be there's blockers, and that's another reason why I was going to transition across to kiteboarding. Was one of my things. Start a list and don't allow yourself to identify the limits. Lovely, mate. I love your drive. Just pick one of those things on the list and start one of them, mate. That's amazing, and that's what I'm. Do you know what? From this podcast today, that is what I'm taking away from this, mate. Absolutely need to run through a list of what there is local to my area, and I need to go, would I do that? No, but you know, and work it down into the pros and cons, a bit like we did as a child on our relationships. You know, if you were going to split up with someone, what's the pros and cons? Was that just me? But it's interesting. It's interesting to try and find. See, I identify, and I know for a fact that by having a hobby, having something to focus on is the reason we live. You know, if you're just going to go to work, earn some money, get to the weekends, do fuck all, not really speak to many people, and then go on and turn around and go, right, okay, I've got nothing to do, I don't know what to do. You get to that point where, especially if you're somebody who's endured depression, anxiety like I have, and has PTSD and ADHD, Oh, Alyssa, Mistress Alyssa. Yeah, hi, nice to see you. There's loads of people that have joined on. You'll be able to contribute here. Oh, excellent. Is this someone you know, I assume? Fantastic. She's great. Oh, amazing. That's what I love. Love meeting new people. So, hi, how are you? Sorry, we were just talking about, I'll just give you a quick rundown, so not to bore you, but we're just talking about basically, I'm feeling a bit shit at the moment, and it's my podcast about mental health, and it's trying to, ups and downs, you know, trying to address these things, and I'm in this really horrible place for the first time since probably Christmas, when I was in that horrible place, contemplating fucking life, taking tablets and not wanting to be here. I've moved on, and this podcast has really nurtured my mental health. And I don't hide behind a shell. I don't just talk about the positives. Today has been quite a negative day for me, but I'm in this point where I'm like, last night I was led there at midnight, and I didn't know my purpose in life. I was fucking like, what's the point in being here? If all I'm going to do is work, I don't want to be here anymore. That's where I got to. And that's a really horrible place to be. I've acknowledged that, and I've addressed, I know that I'm strong enough to know that that's not what we want to do. And that's why I jumped on today. And today's reflection is James and I are very similar. Both come from high adrenaline and service environments. Exactly. On you. Follow my drift, mistress. Yeah, exactly. You know, I've been in the Royal Air Force. You know, I've worked around aircraft all my life, jets and helicopters. You know, everything I do, all my sports have all been based around skydiving, motorbikes. I used to race motorbikes in the RAF. I've got a fucking, you know, fast car, fast bike. You know, all these good stuff, but I don't find excitement in things at the moment. I absolutely destroys me, and I'm at a point now where when I was led there last night at midnight, going, what's the fucking point? I don't want to be here if this is my life, and I'm 40. And my missus has been absolutely supportive. She came in and we went for a walk this morning. I got fuck all out of it mentally, but at the same time, it was getting out and about. And yeah, I'm in this point now where I don't know what to do. I can't spend many more weekends doing nothing or going to social events that don't fucking interest me. Excuse my French. I understand. Thank you for helping to fill me in. Lingo, I'm listening carefully, James. Yeah, fantastic. And I really appreciate the support. Like I said, I acknowledge that fact, and Linga's come up with some absolutely amazing little thing that I will take from this, whereas outlining some sports, what's local to me, and trying to find out, you know, work a list out to try and establish what I find interesting. And I think it's that the hardship for me is I do thrive on the adrenaline aspect. You know, I mean, I've tried snooker. I've got all the gear, no idea. I'm one of those ones. Oh, she's amazing. I love this. This is absolutely amazing. I love it when people just click and, you know, help each other out, because it's really interesting. You need support. Do I think I get support? It's difficult. I do to a degree, and I don't to another degree. I don't think a lot of people understand the level of problems you can have with mental health. And I think that I try to be as open and honest as I can, just to basically make people understand that, you know, we do go through these struggles. Like I said, I gave that stat earlier on that 75% of suicides are men in the UK, and, you know, 70% of suicides in 10-year-old boys and above are boys. You know, they're boys. So we go through these struggles, and I'm not taking this away from any other genders. I'm not taking it away from them. I appreciate we all go through our own challenges. I recently learned that I had ADHD, which I only found out a couple of weeks ago, which would explain a lot. I'm 40, being diagnosed with that. So I'm facing challenges, and it's interesting learning about myself. But for the first time since Christmas, last night I was led there, and I went, I don't want to be here anymore, because I don't want to continue and live in pain and live in discomfort, and I don't particularly want to just keep living to the weekends where I've got nothing to look forward to. And I know, and I fully appreciate, you need that goal. You've got to give it to yourself. I mean, I already feel a little bit emotional thinking about it, if I'm brutally honest, because I hate that feeling. And to take opioids for the pain last night fucking ruined me. It's not a place I want to go to. It's not a drug I ever want to do again. I was managing it, and I've been managing it through alternative methods for the last 2 years, and it's really worked, but it's become difficult. But yeah, it's I've tried, you know, Pilates, I do my reflection, I do everything that I should be doing right. I do them all to sit there, and I reflect heavily. I do meditation, not the but I do meditation in the sense I listen to the right music, and I take myself out of my my negative zone, and I try to think about the positives. I do that a lot to reinforce the positives. But it's very much come to the point now where I'm a bit lost, if I'm brutally honest, and I don't know what to do. I don't know where to go or how to approach it. Even with my experience and knowledge, you know, I did a little piece on mental health on Friday, and I spoke in front of 60 people about my mental health and trying to raise awareness. I was on a big Teams call with all my work colleagues, and I'd say 95% of them I didn't know. But I was trying to raise awareness, and I felt good about that. But it just highlighted the difficulties I've been facing. And I'm in a place at the moment where my friends are amazing, but they're not the adrenaline junkies that I am. They're not that kind of style. They're very much relaxed, very much chilled out in their own environments, and don't really want to push themselves too much in that sort of sense. Would be happy if I organised something to go along and do it. But I don't want to be the organiser all the time. I always have been the organiser. And I stopped being the organiser about a month ago because nobody was getting back to me. Everyone was kind of just ignoring it. I don't know how to do this. I don't know how to work that. I'm not coming up with anything. So I just went, I just went bollocks to it. I'm just not going to be the leader here because I don't want to be the leader anymore. I want somebody to take me into their world and nurture me through their world instead of me having to find the things that I find fun. Because when you do the research and you learn about things, it makes shit hard, doesn't it? Because you're like, I've done this. And then the other person might be coming along because you said come along, and they won't show the same enthusiasm as you. And you're like, well, I can tell you're bored here, mate. You're not doing this. You're not having as much fun as me. You want somebody to step in and go, let's go and do this, mate. I'm going to pick you up at this time. Let's go. And something you can do continuously together. And that's what I haven't got. I genuinely, and I don't care if my friends are listening, at some point in this show, that I don't have that. I don't have that get up and go. They're very much relaxed people. And I'm not that relaxed person. Like I said, I do things at 100 mile an hour. You have to slow me down. But acknowledging the fact that, to have a purpose in life and not contemplate your life, you need to have a focus. You need to have something to look forward to. You need to have a goal. And I admire the people that does it. That's why I was looking at, golf, for instance, because I know my brother-in-law, he does golf all the fucking time, takes half days off, goes and has a half day. And I've got other friends that that go along with him, and they have like a Saturday or a Sunday. They go along for 4 or 5 hours in the morning, early morning, quick round of golf, and then come back. So it's a sense of achievement. And I thought, well, maybe that's what I want. But am I doing it because they get excitement out of it? Probably, because I won't be able to hit the ball. I don't have the finesse. I'm more of a baseball player. Do you know what I mean? More of a rugby, American football player type thing. That's the type of, there's an Aussie rules football, that's the sort of thing I'm into, bashing the shit out of each other, I'm into that, but at the same time acknowledging I'm 40, I'm not 30 anymore. So there's restrictions on my age. So I get that. I'm coming through this. I've got many blockers, and I don't know whether I'm putting the blockers up myself because I am, or the blockers are there because of the lifestyle and show that I am. So it's deflating. I'm not going to lie. It's even just talking, I feel very deflated today. And I've tried to come on just to show that mental health isn't all bells and whistles. When you're on a path, you have to nurture it. You have to keep challenging yourself constantly to make it focused. It's like there's a screaming noise in the background from some child in my area, and it's murdering me. I'm not going to lie. I can't stop thinking about it. That's children for you, but I do pick up on sounds. But anyway, that's where I am. That's where I'm at. So I've taken a lot from Linger, actually. It has always been super, super supportive. And it's interesting that we've come from similar backgrounds for getting online and trying. Exactly, and that was the hard bit. I looked at the time and it was like 19 minutes in, and I went, I don't want to do this, and I didn't even want to do it today. I kind of went, fuck it, I can't be asked today. But then I was acknowledging that the last time I did speak was last Tuesday. So I need to keep up the momentum for myself because it does give me a lot. And rightly so, mate, I wouldn't have met the people I've met tonight, or today for me, tonight for you, or early morning. So, and thank you for the kind words. It's a struggle, I'll be honest with you. I got out of bed this morning, and that was only because I'd had 8 hours sleep. And yeah, I didn't get much interest out of the walk. I didn't get much interest out of it. I mean, even to the point where my wife turned around and this is how difficult it is. We were walking the dog, and my dog was going up in the stinging nettles, and I was like, "Get out of there, you fucking dickhead!" And then I was like, "Look, I see he's being such a wanker. I'm going to punch him in the fucking nose." And my missus looked at me, and I only meant it as banter. I would absolutely never touch a fucking dog or an animal. Caveat that before anyone jumps on that. No, I love my dog. My dog saved my life in the sense that I bought him when I first had my first car crash, and I rule. I mean, the day that I have to say goodbye to him is going to be the day I probably get broken for a little while, because he's the reason that I got walking again. He's the reason that I got out and about. He's the reason I didn't commit suicide the first couple of times round, because I wanted to be there for him. He's the reason I got out of bed every day, because I had something to go and walk with. So he knows more about me than anybody in this world. If he could talk, I would be scared. He knows absolutely every secret. But that was my demeanour. That was my demeanour. And that's more what I'm getting at. My demeanour is quite aggressive. I'm quite sad, and that's horrible. What's this? Sorry, everyone is different, bro. Elisa must have met and understood lots and lots of men. Is there anything you observe about men that sometimes gets us stuck, especially at 40? Yeah, that'd be an interesting one, isn't it? It's interesting. It seems to be that 40 age, and I know that traditionally 40 is that age where men go a little bit crazy, don't they? They go that midlife crisis, they call it. I'm genuinely curious as well. They call it like a midlife crisis, don't they, at 40? And it is. You're transitioning across. You've not got the same get up and go as you had when you were in your 30s or your 20s. You haven't got the same responsibilities. My responsibilities are far greater now. I mean, I had children quite young. Right now, I'm finishing up a walk and I'm listening intently. I will be back home in about 5 minutes and will call in or raise my hand and see if he accepts the call. Of course, I'll accept the call. I'd love to hear from you. Take your time and enjoy your walk. We'll wrap it. We'll talk. I'll keep churning on here. But yeah. So just gonna take a sip of drink. Bear with me. The little cool emoji from Linga there, mate. I love it. But it is interesting. I got to 40, and the thing is, most people, when they get to 40, I have the things and I've done the things that most people at 40 would do. So I've done the adrenaline sports. I have got the fast motorbike. I have got the fast car. I've done mechanics, so I don't find interest in that. I've done spraying, and there isn't anything I haven't sprayed, from a car to a fast jet. I've got 2 jets that I've designed and sprayed in a museum. And I've got a helicopter that I designed and sprayed with a team. These are with teams. I'm not taking full credit. But I've took I've got a gate guardian that is actually in one of the military establishments as a gate guardian that has my name signature on it and the team of us that sprayed it. So I've had a very intense life. I mean, I've flown in a Typhoon Eurofighter, for Christ's sake. So I've had a lot of experiences, which is more than your average Joe, which is probably why I struggle with what makes me fun, because I've done a lot of those things. Christ, I've driven a tank across Salisbury Plain with my dad. So there isn't much I haven't done. But that's because I'm very, very ambitious and I'm very, very intent. Have I got kids? Yes. I've got 3 daughters. I have a 15-year-old, almost 16, a 14, almost 15-year-old girl, and I have a how old? She's 11. Yeah, she's just turned 11. So, and that's my youngest. Vasectomy and grey hair. To caveat that. So yeah, I've got the kids. I have my own struggles with them because of mental health. My middle daughter just doesn't talk to me because she was at that age where she was seeing a lot of aggression, not physical, not verbal, but in my demeanour. I was a horrible person when I was really depressed, and I won't dive into it because it does make me emotional. But my girls have seen the horrible side of me for a long, long time, and even though I've moved back home a year ago, I don't get a lot of communication out of the girls because they're girls, they're pretty, they're very attractive, stunning little beauties, and I'm very protective over them. But at the same time, they don't confide in me a lot because I wasn't there at the key point in their life, because I was dealing with my own mental health. So I have to nurture that the right way, and that's going to take a long time. I don't anticipate my kids will probably talk to me until they're well into their adulthood, a bit like I didn't talk to my dad properly for about 30 years. It's only when I got to 38, so about 3 years ago, where I started reconnecting with my dad, because we didn't have a relationship. He was very career minded, a bit like I was. He had his own challenges that wouldn't have been addressed because mental health wasn't on the agenda for anybody, especially the military. He would have had PTSD. He's been to war zones himself. I've been to war zones. My brother been to war zones. We've all got our medals. We've all done our bit. And that, it's interesting that, we get to an age now where I think it's because I've calmed down a little bit in the sense of my maturity in terms of being a leader, because I enjoy being a manager. For me, that's grounded me quite a bit because I can't be as ruthless as I was. I have to be a bit more interesting. Oh, hello. Sorry, we've got Alicia, and hey, how are you?
Great, James. How are you?
Yeah, not too bad. Plodding on, as they say.
Listening, so I do have a sense of like feeling like I know you just a little bit by listening. I did not want to call you while I was out there huffing and puffing, and that's just not, that wouldn't have been very helpful. You would have been like,
No,
are you
no,
okay?
no. It's fine. Like I say, you've enjoyed your walk, and that's amazing. That's the main thing. So where are you from?
So listen,
Oh, go on, go on.
I'm from the U.S.,
Oh, fab.
but as you're talking, um, there are several things that jumped out at me. I don't have all the answers, but I have some interesting questions for you.
Yeah, please do
And
fire
what
away.
I would like for you to do is take a breath before you answer,
Okay.
and try to what I'm doing right now is trying to slow you down.
Okay. Yeah, which
Trying
I
to slow
need
you
to.
down. Uh-huh. But try to, let's say, think outside of the box. Instead of giving those answers, because there's a narrative that you're telling and you're used to telling. Your narrative is yours, but the way that you're telling it, let's say that you're seeing 80% of it, but you're missing the other 20%.
Yeah.
Let's just throw out some numbers. So if you feel like you're spinning your wheels and like you keep going over it in your head and you keep trying to figure it out, there's nothing in what you're saying that sounds untruthful or like, like you're trying to hide or mislead. I feel like you're being as transparent as you can possibly be. So when I say let's try to look at the other 20%, I am not in any form or fashion saying anything. I'm not even hinting at maybe you're, being dishonest or anything like that. So I just want to be clear.
Yeah.
I believe everything that you've said, but I think you're missing something. And so you keep telling the same narrative in your head, or maybe when you're expressing yourself and, trying to get support or trying to get other people to understand you. And you probably don't do this too often. It sounds like you know, might be using the platform for that,
Yeah.
but you're missing something. Okay,
Yeah.
so let me ask you something that I haven't heard you talk about, and this is where I want you to just like stop and breathe for
Okay.
just a few seconds and really contemplate. What is your purpose in life? Why are you here?
Um, I don't know. Protect people. If I was going to answer
Right.
that question, I would say protect people and make them the best they can be. Do something.
Yes,
Do something that I never
there we
have.
go. Okay, okay, so we're getting somewhere already. Thank you, thank you. Okay, but do you see how you had to like take a breath? It was almost like it was a foreign question. You haven't been processing that.
Right.
You've been processing what has happened to you.
Yeah.
You've been processing what you've experienced. You've been looking for answers in your family's experience or your family's response to you.
Yeah.
But there's this crucial question. What are you here for? Let me tell you something. While you were talking, uh, this is what I was guessing. And this may not resonate with you, but this is what I was seeing while you were talking. You're one of those people who has so much fucking energy and passion and love and passion and
I do.
it's not for you.
Mhm.
You're going to explode if you keep it to yourself.
Which is where I
So
struggle.
here's right. Hold on, stay with me
I am.
because we're gonna get you at least one solution today.
Excellent.
Okay,
Yeah.
so no, we can't fix everything in one conversation, but maybe maybe a light bulb moment can go off for you. Okay, so hold on, I'm trying to get my thoughts together so that I can ask this and I can put this as succinctly as possible. The thing that stood out to me was you seem to be. struggling with two things, and you're conflating the issues. There's the issue of purpose. What am I here for? What am I doing? Why am I doing it? And then there's the issue of healing. Those are two separate issues, James. You're conflating them.
Yeah. Yeah,
And you're
definitely.
driving yourself crazy.
I am.
Take a breath. Take a breath. Let it sink in. So I'll say it again. Two separate issues. One, what is your purpose? Why are you here? What's meaningful to you? That's why you're bouncing from one thing to another. It's because you're trying to connect with your purpose, but you haven't even considered your purpose, and you're fully aware of, where you're fragmented and how you want to heal. You're pushing everything through that funnel or through that channel, but you have two separate issues here. What is your purpose? And then how do you heal? Or how do you heal? And then what is your purpose? You can put the chicken before the egg or the egg before the chicken.
Yeah.
But I would recommend that you start to separate these two issues,
Okay.
right? So listen, before you even started this show, what was your anxiety level? Like 1 out of 10. What was your anxiety?
Oh, 10. Absolutely.
Okay. Now take a breath. What is your anxiety now?
As in right now, or since I've started the show?
Come on.
I would
What is your
say
anxiety now?
I would say that I still sit in certain occasions at around about an 8 or a 9, and
Hold on.
okay.
Stay with me, James. Right now, what is your anxiety level?
Oh, 10.
There's only one. Okay. Why is it so high right now?
Because I don't know what I'm here for. I don't know what to do. I don't know. I know what I can do. I know my abilities. I know that I'm a fun and I know I'm a very intelligent guy in that sense. I don't mean a big-headed sense. But I just want to transition all of my life skills to people to make them enjoy life more, and that would make me enjoy life more.
Okay, but hold on. When you first started the show, you thought that it was all about healing yourself, did you not?
I did, yes.
Do you see the little shift?
Oh, absolutely. This has nurtured into me helping other people with struggles and trying to help other people. I would never have met you. I'd never have met Linga. This has opened up massive windows for me.
Stay focused for me. Stay focused.
Okay.
Do you see the shift? You see the shift? From what you're saying, you're still at a 10, but now you're thinking differently.
Yeah.
Before, you thought it was you. What's wrong with me? How do I fix me? My family's responding to me.
Yeah.
But now that you're starting to understand, and I'm not in any way trying to say don't take ownership of your stuff. Anyone who knows me knows that I'm all about ownership, especially when it comes to my own shit. So
Yeah.
ownership is everything. So I'm not trying to demean or belittle anyone else's experience with you, just for, anyone who's listening. But what I am saying is, now you have a shift in thinking. And although you're saying you're out of 10, I don't quite believe you're out of 10 anymore, James, because your energy it's less intense. The anxiety comes from the pent up energy inside of you.
I think
I don't think you're out of 10 right now.
I mean, you've calmed me down a lot.
I know.
You've calmed me
but I
down a
needed
lot.
for you to acknowledge that.
For
some reason, you didn't want to acknowledge that.
No, I didn't, and
I'll acknowledge it for you.
It was only until you just said there, and I already feel that the last hour and 15 minutes I've been on talk and just blah blah blah, trying to fill the gaps and instantly talking to you. I've always found it easier to relate with women, which is really interesting for me. I tend not to relate. So yeah,
You see what's happening?
I do.
Because
I run away.
I work with men a lot.
Yeah.
Here. Yeah. I work with men. That's what I do. And so one thing that men will do is they'll start to give me compliments,
Yes,
right?
they
Because
do.
usually the woman is like, "Oh my God, thank you. Oh, they're so sweet." I'm not falling for that shit.
Sorry,
Listen,
I know. It's just a
I'm
natural
no,
thing as a
no,
man.
no, no, no. I know it's a natural thing for men, but I don't. You see what Linga's writing? He says no whip button here.
I know.
Normally, when I'm like, I have a whip that I use for like whip, like pay attention. Yeah, exactly, exactly. But here's the thing: when I stop you, I'm not trying to be rude. What I'm trying to do is get you to sit in the moment,
Yeah,
and I'm trying to get you to breathe, and I'm trying to get you to sit in your emotions because I think just me, just one little Dom talking, but I think that too many times men are grabbing for the mental health um, button or box or just that. It's like, oh, it's mental health. Yeah, sure it is. But when men get to just talk about mental health, it's problematic because you're talking about what's in your head. What men really need to do is talk about heart health. And I've never heard anyone say that before. And
no.
that's my specialty with men. So you see, when you're a guy and you're like mental health, it's like, what's going on in my brain? And I've got ADHD and da 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 da. And listen, I, I I was abused as a kid, and I was so traumatized that I've never been able to tell anyone my full story because whenever I would go to a mental health professional, they thought I was exaggerating.
Yeah,
They were like, "Oh, you wouldn't be able to." The uh, what they were implying was, "But you seem very, removed, and you're talking about this like it's nothing." Well, that's how I fucking survived, right? So I have had to work through childhood trauma basically on my own because I've never found a mental health professional who would even listen to a tenth of the shit that I endured.
yeah,
My last psychiatrist from a decade ago, I tried to tell him, and he's just like, "Oh, not this again." Unbelievable.
right.
Unfucking
That is
believable. Okay?
shocking.
So 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 yeah, but that's not where I want to stay. What I'm trying to say to you is I've been through some really difficult shit and I'm still haunted by it. Right?
Yeah,
It's like it still chases me. It's way back there now. It doesn't like pop up. But it's there. And I suspect that it will always be there. So, if I had only approached this as mental health, my ass would still be where I was a decade ago.
yeah.
But I had enough fucking common sense to go, fuck these people. They don't know what the fuck they're doing. I need to heal my heart. I need to heal my soul.
Yeah, and
Okay?
I think
So,
that's
on one hand, you have mental health, absolutely. But for men in particular, even more important than with women, you need heart and soul health. The reason for that is because from the time that you're little boys, you're taught you don't cry, you suck it up. You
yeah,
need to learn how to be a man, don't show emotions.
yeah.
Women will get together with our girlfriends, you know, eat some ice cream, get out a sad movie, cry, gain 2 pounds, and then work out together.
See, it was
What are you
interesting.
guys doing?
Yeah, well, it was interesting actually. I had a conversation yesterday because my daughter was very upset. She's 11-year-old. She's going through the hormonal changes, and she was sat there because I didn't get a pizza because she didn't say she liked a pizza from the certain establishment where I get my pizza from. She's always said she didn't want to go there, but she was going to cry because I didn't buy her pizza. So I looked at her and I went, "Oh, okay. Well, don't cry. Don't cry. You don't need to cry." And my wife turned around to me and said, "But you need to let her cry." And I was like, well, it's interesting that I was never allowed to cry as a kid. I was told, don't cry. And even in work, when I was going through my work transitions, you're always told to man up. get, do you want, where is your tampon hanging out was another thing, which is quite a crude way of saying it, but that's the male bravado. I think one of the other things was, one of the big things about 5-6 years ago was, you would
Hold on.
Sorry, go
on. I want to help you with your daughter.
Yeah.
She wasn't crying because you didn't get her pizza. She was probably crying because she didn't feel included.
Exactly, but
It's not about the pizza from the establishment. No, you need to learn how to speak woman, sweetheart. You're surrounded by 4 women.
I know.
You need to learn the language. She wasn't crying because you didn't get her pizza from a specific establishment. She was crying more than likely because she didn't feel included.
Yeah, but how do you learn that as a man?
Well, you're learning right now. Don't be defensive. You're learning right
now. No. I know.
Why couldn't you?
It's just that it's trying to understand. See, I relate quite heavily to women in the sense I am quite an emotional person, and I do enjoy the element of emotions that women bring out in me. I find it fun, flirtatious, and I find that kind of aspect quite.
There's nothing flirtatious about this. Hold on, James. Hold on, sweetheart. I'm giving you the opportunity right now to see a little bit inside of your daughter's head.
Yeah.
Possibly. I can't be her spokesperson. No one else can be. But just as an 11-year-old, I'm thinking she probably just wanted Daddy to do something for her and maybe with her. And maybe she just felt left out. So instead of you putting your foot down and saying, well, you don't like pizza from here, so you're going to be left out. It's a little cruel. Couldn't you just have gotten pizza from a certain establishment and she could have enjoyed it with you, and it would have been a nice way to connect with her instead of another opportunity to disconnect and to hurt her feelings? It's a small thing.
Oh, no,
the taste of pizza or the taste of sharing with your daughter.
But at the same time, when I came in and acknowledged the fact that I'd made that faux pas, I'd made that mistake, and I hadn't bought it on the basis that I wanted pizza, I didn't think she liked it from that establishment. I did say to her, look, I am absolutely sorry. I mean, inclusion is a massive thing for me. I promote it. Diversity and inclusion is what I promote through work massively. And I came home and I did say to her, look, I am absolutely gutted. Can I go to the shops? Can I get you some of your favourite sweets? Can I do something that will try and make this right? And she'd already made that mind up with, no, there's nothing you can do. I just want hoops, which is like little spaghetti hoops. So I did try, and then I came in about an hour later and said, look, I've understood. I've made a mistake as a father. I will never, ever, ever let that happen again. And she looked at me and said, thank you. And that's.
You're feeling like I'm attacking you.
No, not at all. No, not at all. Not at all. No, honestly, okay. I'm just trying to explain the situation in terms of the whole spectrum, the whole spectrum of what had happened, rather than just the negativity.
I get you, but hold on. What I'm trying to do is help you to see how you could have turned that around. Linka's making some amazing points. He said we don't always do shit deliberately. You know what? Let me tell you something. If I thought that the men who were coming to me for help were doing shit deliberately, I would just hang up a sign and go out of business. I'm not dealing with you fuckers. But the whole reason I'm in business is because men are clueless, and it's so sweet.
Well,
I get to shape and mold men and help you to. Hold on, James. Hold on. I get to shape and mold men and help you. Here's the thing: is instead of you have an 11-year-old, right? You take her by the hand and go, listen, Dad made a mistake. We're going to go do something special for you. We're going to go get you. You already know what her favorite is. So you just grab her by the hand, you put her in the car, you go for a walk, and you make it a little 15-minute outing. And you go, well, what do you want? Okay, well, you don't know. You're in a bad mood. You're still upset with me. Well, I tell you what, you're not going to be upset with me in 10 minutes because I'm going to just keep loading it up, and Mom's going to be really mad at me because we're going to come home with all these treats, and then you're really going to see Dad cry because Mom's going to be all up your ass, or however, you don't curse to an 11-year-old, but you know what I mean. You can easily turn that around for an 11-year-old. She wants to smile. She wants to spend time with Dad. She wants to feel special.
Oh, of course.
You
And
just take her by the hand, put her in the car, go for a walk, and get her something. Not, do you want me to? Because if she admits, as a girl, if she admits, yes, I want you to do this, you've just taken the love out of it for her. She doesn't want to tell you how to be considerate. She wants you to be considerate.
yeah, but
So as a girl,
I have
if she
to.
says that to you, then she's thrown away the love.
No, but I have to, like, I'm not getting defensive, but I have to say that there is no book on how to be a parent, and it is difficult. And I would say that for me, in a household where there's 4 women in my house, it is very difficult as a man because we're not trained, we're not raised the same way that girls are raised, exactly in the sense that you've done there, that we are raised to sit down, shut up, do as you're told, don't cry. You've got to provide for your family. You have to always be in a job. You have to financially be there. You have to protect the people, but your feelings don't matter. That is the way that a man is raised. Every single man that I have ever known is raised on that rhetoric, that you are not to show
I get
emotion.
that.
So for me, I tried to rectify it in the best way as I could. Was I acknowledged that I made a mistake. I did do that exactly what you said. I went through and said, let's get your favourite sweets. Let's sit down. Let's watch a movie. I'm really sorry. I went back in and said, I am absolutely sorry. I am not there's no rule book on how to be a parent. I was a father way too early because society told me, and the way I was raised was
James, instead of learning, you're defending.
no,
Listen,
no,
just
not
shift
defending.
just a little.
Not defending.
James, shift just a little
No, I'm
bit.
just trying to,
Listen.
it's not defending.
Shift. No, but you don't
But
need
you
to
have to allow me to,
explain.
yeah, but you have to allow me to, no, because you do need an explanation behind
No,
things. If you can't,
no,
no, but if you can't let
no,
me,
you
I
don't.
do. If you can't let me explain, then it's going to be a one-way conversation, isn't it? I have to explain that
No,
you do try as men. That's not as an explanation. This is just me addressing the male side of things, that it's very easy to say as a woman that it is you should do X, Y, and Z. It's very easy, and I don't care what any woman says. It's very easy because you are raised differently. Men aren't raised the same way. I was raised that I was to go out, get a career, get myself financially stable, get married, stay in a marriage, and then have children, and then always be financially stable and protective of my family. That is the way I was raised. I was raised in a military background. I was raised throughout the military. I've had an adrenaline junkie life, and I've always supported. I've never been out of work since I started working at 13-year-old as a paperboy. That's not a defensive aspect. That is just showing you that men don't have and are not raised and are not articulate in the same field as females. So women can relate to that a lot easier. So it's very easy to sit there and go, you should do this, X, Y, and Z. It's not a defensive mechanism. This is just me explaining that I'd made a mistake. If I'd have ignored that mistake and I'd have gone on to say, well, sorry, I didn't get you a pizza. You're fucking tough shit. You told me that, which is what I could have said.
your
And
anxiety is way back up, James.
I know, because I'm trying to
Your
explain to
anxiety is
myself.
way
I'm
back
just
up.
trying to explain to myself that in sense of, it's difficult to be a man, and it's very easy. And I've had many conversations with, I mean, I had a female psychiatrist, 38 therapy sessions, and not once did she see it from my aspect. And that's the
And
difference
I
is,
did, but look at how I did. Wait a minute, James. Hold on. I did.
you did,
And look at how defensive you are still being.
because I have to be defensive, because you're saying, you're
James.
making out that it's an easy
No,
process to
you
be.
don't.
You do. You're making it
No,
out
you
to be an
don't.
easy process, and it's not an easy process as a man. And it is
I
hard.
didn't say it was easy.
No, but
James,
you
what are
have
you
to look,
doing right now?
because you have to,
Sweetheart, what are you doing right now? What are you
defending
doing?
myself, because I've worked bloody hard to get where I
I'm
am.
not attacking you.
Yeah, but you are.
I'm not attacking you,
But you
James.
have done, though.
Okay, then here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to apologize for disrupting your space, and I'm going to excuse myself, and I would like for you to forgive me. I want you to know that my only intention was to come up after listening to you hurting and sort of bleeding on the air. My heart went out to you, and I wanted to help you with 3 points. One was you personally, second was your family, and then third was your purpose. And so we got hung up on the second. I apologize. I hope you'll forgive me. And I want you to know I understand that I have failed here. My heart hurts. I really wanted to help you. I apologize, and I'll excuse myself. Take care.
Healing is a purpose. Well, that was interesting. Thank you, Alicia. The reason I got defensive there, and I feel I have to say that the initial conversation was absolutely fantastic, and I felt that the right track was helping it. I certainly felt an absolute change in my demeanour, in the sense that I was connecting, and I felt that there was a purpose there. But I have to get defensive because I have been a fucking awful father, an absolutely awful father. And when you compare me to where I was 10 years ago, or even 5 years ago, I am a completely different person. And I took offence to that because I didn't feel that my side was being listened to. I took offence. Just cut the parts out of the show on the edit. Yeah, no, I mean, do you know what, mate? I won't, because at the end of the day, mate, that's raw. You understand people. You need to see the passion, and her heart was in the right place. I didn't feel it was in the middle there. I felt that, unfortunately, we got hooked up on saying that I wasn't doing something when I was. I did try to rectify the mistake. We learn, and as parents, not every day is easy. I have to explain my background because I feel that gives the conversation gravitas. I've been an awful father, in understand you know, and for me personally, I felt that did become a bit of a personal attack, in the sense I wasn't getting defensive at all. No one is a good father, I know. And you know what? I felt that there was a change in shift there, in the sense that, it's a tough gig. It is a tough gig. And when you deal with, and this isn't about, I found that difficult because it is about mental health. It is about PTSD. And when you have PTSD, and you're a man, everything does become difficult, especially raising 3 young women that rely on you as a father to try and guide you when you can't guide them because you can't even guide your own self. And I feel passionate about that because I take every single bad day with my children personally, because I try to be a better dad. They have seen me at my worst. They have seen me when they were young, being an asshole, swearing, being the dickhead dad that I wasn't, choosing going out with my friends rather than being there as a father. So to turn around and make that mistake to my daughter, I felt that I was justified in explaining myself over a point. We would have hugged that out, absolutely. And do you know what? I felt that, the reason that went that way, I think, is because her heart was in the right place, and she is a very dominant woman. I think, in a good sense, she's a very dominant woman in a good sense, and that came about probably because of her own past. So I think that if I was going to unpick that personally, I would say that her past has probably made her think differently towards men, which is understandable. The reason that I don't feel so supportive, or I look for support in women, is because I never got that support. So we all look for a mother figure as a bloke, don't we? We always look for somebody to guide us through the female aspects, especially when you've got a very strong character of a father that teaches you that you need to be your reaction to your daughter. Exactly. I think I was justified. My anxiety level wasn't high at all. I was defensive because we were talking about my daughter, and I was trying to emphasize the fact that we all make mistakes. I don't agree with a 15-minute walk. I certainly agree with the fact that I try, and I try daily, with my children, and I'm undoing 10 years of hurt that I've given this family. I also don't agree with the fact that men are raised differently. We addressed that when she said the first one, and we don't get raised differently. So how are we supposed to know to look for an emotion in a woman when we're taught not to address emotions? We're taught to go to work and not address our feelings. We're taught to hang around with our friends and not address our feelings. We're taught that if we have a fight, you man up, you get on with it the next day. Whereas women are completely and utterly the opposite. I think the fact that the things riled you up is just another place to spend some more time and energy on. And it is. And I've addressed that in previous podcasts, that I get very defensive over my children because I was a fucking awful father. And I truly wish it was as easy as going up and grabbing her hand and taking her out for a 15-minute walk. The unfortunate aspect of that is she doesn't want to spend 15 minutes with me because she doesn't know how I'm going to react because of my previous 10 years. My daughter doesn't want to acknowledge me. My middle one doesn't acknowledge me in one bit because of how I was as she was growing up. And I've articulated that in previous podcasts. And my eldest daughter tries. She looks for me for support, but will never come to me for anything other than support or financial support normally. So I do get defensive because I don't genuinely try to make these mistakes. That was unfortunate that it went that way because I felt I could have got a lot out of her. It did help me. I'm sorry that it went that way, but I felt it became across as a little bit of a attack on me then. And it wasn't to do with my anxiety. It was to do with the fact that I felt protective over the fact that I'm trying to help myself. And this journey is about healing. This journey is about acknowledging the ups and downs. And I love people that talk to me. I love it. I absolutely love it. And I am truly sorry that went the other way. It was a difficult one. But addressing the fact that, I've got a lot of hurt that I need to address anyway. So I realise that, and I haven't fully addressed with my daughters because they don't want to talk to me. So at the same time, it's difficult to address those facts. I've got a lot out of today, actually. And Linga, as always, your fucking support has been invaluable. You and I are both going to be better parents in the next 24 hours. Absolutely. And do you know what? As difficult as that went, I got a lot out of it, actually. I really did, because I do need to listen to the emotions of other people. I don't do that because I was raised to not acknowledge emotions. I do, and I suppose I got defensive because it was almost I almost felt like I was the fault there, and I don't agree that I was the fault. I was getting defensive because I wanted to get my point across. I think that if you don't explain the past of your issues, you don't address them. And I was trying to articulate the full picture rather than just it's me, because this isn't about me at all. It is about, I enjoy the process of talking on a podcast. I enjoy explaining to people how I fight things and how struggle with things, but at the same time, I've got a lot of healing to do, and it is about healing the heart. I've got a lot out of that, it is. But acknowledging that PTSD and ADHD are very difficult mental health subjects that can't just be dealt with. They're recognised and, as genuine illnesses that are hard to get past. And I know soldiers that have had PTSD, and I've been sat on a sofa with a soldier that had just come back about 6 months back from a war zone and heard firework and decided to jump behind a sofa and fucking drag me back behind the sofa because he thought he was being attacked. So, PTSD is a very difficult thing to manage, and I expect that she'll know full well that, because maybe I get the impression she didn't receive the help she needed. But acknowledging the fact that it's a healing process for men. I've got a lot out of it though, so I'm not playing that down at all. I think she's an absolutely fantastic lady, and I hope we get to talk again, maybe one subject at a time, and help address it. But it's a healing process for men. I'll leave it there. Well, bro, got some shit off your chest. I did today, given some pieces of advice that might resonate. Absolutely. I've been given some advice, and I'm going to take your full advice on board, Linga, with regards to addressing that and acknowledging that and getting some things on a list that I can look forward to. Fantastic. I thank you for listening to me as well, and thank you for your support. I really appreciate it. And thank you to Elisa. I really appreciate her coming on. Not all wasted. One last thing, forgiveness. Absolutely forgiveness. And I'll caveat that and finish that with, I apologise if I come across as rude in any way, shape or form. I don't mean to, but as you know, I'm forgive yourself first, bro. That's always been a difficult thing for me to forgive myself, mate. I don't. That call will resonate with me for quite a while, because I don't feel it went the way I wanted it to go. I don't feel I got my point across, and I think that this is all about the male side of things, and I think that for me it's very easy to do things when you're raised differently. I think it's very easy to say that. It's very easy to have a different perception as a female, which is why I look to other men for the advice, because I don't feel I get that same aspect. Love your work though. I understand you. You just best to know some new boundaries for your podcast. Absolutely know some new boundaries for my podcast. And we're all learning. Christ, we learn every day. Set, not best. Yes. Yeah, for my set. And no, absolutely. I got a lot out of it. And I'm not going to take any negativity out of this. Absolutely not. I just know there's a boundary for discussion on my podcast, I think. And that boundary would be, let's not talk about my family, because I don't think I've addressed it personally myself. Is that your email, buddy? Oh, mate, that's amazing. Yeah, I'd love to send you an email and add you to some other things as well, mate. So some other social media. You're a fantastic guy, mate. Don't read that. I'm not going to read it out, mate. Don't worry. I'll take note of that email address, mate, and certainly send you an email. That'd be fantastic. And I appreciate your support, mate. It's really nice to feel a brother with the similar background, similar upbringing, and similar issues, mate. It's very difficult to find support in this world. Sorry, not difficult. It is difficult to find support, but it's difficult to find relatable support. Somebody that's gone through the same thing, that goes through the same thing. And that's why I think that it's invaluable when you find people like you, Linga, that's absolutely amazing. So thank you very much. What's that say? Don't overthink today's chat. I probably will. I'm not going to lie, because I've got the insights from it. I just need to process that a little bit. It's difficult. It was a difficult